Dawn from Roseville. Welcome aboard, Dawn. You are live.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Glidden. Hey, longtime listener and friends with Mr. Mike Phillip. Hey, I wanted to get with you about my mother and her longtime MD-created dementia and how we could get on the other side of it.
How old's your mother?
She is 79 years young.
Okay. Is she taking statin drugs?
No, she's not.
Has she ever?
Not that I'm aware of. She was on blood pressure and Namenda, which was a drug for dementia.
Yeah.
We've since got her off that within the last 30 days, both of them.
All right, good. Well, dementia is an interesting thing. Dementia is like cats. There's a lot of different types of cats. And if you were in a completely dark room and there were 10 different breeds of cats in that room and they were all walking around you, it would be virtually impossible for you to tell which breed of cat was rubbing up against your leg at any particular time because they're very, very similar. Well, it's the same way with dementia. There are many different types of dementia. They're all very similar in their clinical presentation. Interestingly enough, Alzheimer's, you know, the king of dementias, can only be diagnosed post-mortem with an autopsy. You can only definitively know if someone actually had Alzheimer's after they've died. You cut their head open, look at a particular part of the brain, and oh yeah, that was Alzheimer's or not. So when it comes to cognitive problems, we don't really know which type of dementia it is. We know that there's a problem, but we don't know which breed of cat it is, so to speak. So what do? Well, we give comprehensive medical nutrition support for the whole body, and then we give extra stuff to support the central nervous system. Now, interestingly enough, there's one type of dementia called Sundowner's syndrome, which is caused by a deficiency in a B vitamin. It's caused by deficiency in B1, the deficiency in vitamin B1. And if you give B like baby 1 to people with Sundowner's syndrome, then within 21 days, there's a noticeable dramatic improvement. So now remember, what we do here is not just single vitamin supplementation. That's referred to as loosely as fractionated nutrition. We don't do that. That's a fool's errand. We give the holistic approach. So your mother and everybody else walking around on God's green earth needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods, start salting their food so that it tastes good, not be afraid of foods that are high in cholesterol, use butter and rendered pork fat, rendered duck fat, rendered goose fat, rendered beef fat to cook with, and take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for their body weight into their body every day. So, and in addition, your mom would benefit from 1 month of the 90 essential nutrients plus extra vitamin B like baby. So let me tell you my favorite Youngevity recipe so far. And by the way, for those of you in the listening audience that are new, Dr. Glidden is not a Youngevity distributor. I'm not a Youngevity corporate employee. I make no money at all from the sale of Youngevity supplements. I give advice based on 26 years of clinical experience about what I think people should do because it's what I've seen work. I recommend supplements made by companies that are effective, not because I have a financial relationship with the company, but because the treatment is effective. And in the marketplace, you've got a million things to choose from. My job is to help you hone it down. I don't recommend Youngevity stuff all of the time. I recommend it most of the time because most of the time, that's all that you need. So the recommendation here, Don, for your mom, what's her current body weight? Do you have any idea?
It's about 135.
135. Okay, so here's what I would do for 90 days. Per month, I would do the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. And do one of those. Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. Make sure it's the liquid because the liquid Healthy Body Pack has the liquid calcium and the regular Healthy Body Pack has the powdered calcium. And the liquid calcium.
Yeah, she's been on this about 2 months, most of the program. I could tell you what she was on, but.
All right, well, let me tell you what, to make it faster and easier, let me just dial it in for you, okay? So it would be one of those. It would be 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals a month. 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals a month. 1 bottle of Oxybody Cherry Berry, I bet you didn't think I was going to say that. 1 bottle of Oxy Body Cherry Berry a month.
Okay.
And 2 bottles of EFA Plus, 2 bottles of EFA Plus per month, 2 bottles of EFA Plus per month. Now, you can also give her a Good Herbs formula. The Good Herbs formula that I would recommend here would be the hypothalamus support, Good Herbs hypothalamus support. At her body weight, give her 1 bottle a month, 1 bottle a month. Have her take a half a teaspoon 3 times a day, a half a teaspoon 3 times a day of the Good Herbs hypothalamus support. And last but not least, the de-stress. The Youngevity is de-stress because the de-stress contains the extra B-like baby vitamins that presumptively will help her if, in fact, her dementia is sundowner syndrome. You're going to know within 30 days after giving the de-stress every day whether or not that cut the mustard. Now, you know, dementia is a funny thing. It's a tricky thing. Neurological problems are the trickiest things to get on the other side of with medical nutrition. I've seen some people with multiple sclerosis completely cure themselves. I've seen other people get 10% better. And it's like that. It's like that with, you know, dementia. Some people respond nicely. Some people respond halfway. Some people respond a little bit of the way. So, and keep in mind here that from our point of view, these conditions happen as the result of long-term stress that's built up and built up and built up inside the body, and then all of a sudden it collapsed. So ostensibly here, we have, you know, 60 years of damage, 70 years of damage to overcome. And that's not going to happen in 3 months, right? But nonetheless, when we do provide anybody with a sound, effective, sophisticated medical nutrition strategy within the first 90 days, there should be something that has brightened up. And so I guess that begs the question, since you've had your mom on this stuff for a couple of months, have you seen any improvement anywhere in her body mind?
Yeah, Dr. Glidden, we've seen actually amazing to me within the first week or so, and her caregiver was really shocked and everything. And then we kept having, you know, support. And then we got to the point where we're saying, okay, now we need to get off of the drugs because, you know, the way that the supplements work, you know, they enhance the drugs and so forth. So we got her off the Namenda, and she's had progress. Like I said, it wasn't great, but she's had it probably 7 years. So once we got her off the Namenda, which is a horrible drug in my opinion, and most, she seemed to have gotten a lot worse. And it's been about a month since we weaned her off slowly. And, you know, my family is not like I am or you are, so it's a little bit harder for me to share these things with them, especially when they're not seeing success. Now they're like, we got to do something. We need to get her back on this drug. So I'm just, you know, doing everything I can to give her as much of the supplements that I can to have enough of an improvement that they're not going to try to put her back on these, you know, awful drugs that do nothing, in my opinion.
All right. So then instead of the hypothalamus support, while in addition to the hypothalamus support, I'd like you to add the Good Herbs circulatory support, Good Herbs circulatory support. And I want you to spread those doses out. Don't give them together. I want you to spread them out. So you do the Good Herbs hypothalamus, and then the next time you give her a dose of the herbs, it's the circulatory support, and then the hypothalamus, and then the circulatory, and then the hypothalamus and the circulatory, like that. Another way to do it is to put the hypothalamus support in with her Beyond Tangy Tangerine drink, and then give her the circulatory support 3 times a day when she's not doing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Is she able to take the supplements? You know, is she swallowing them down, and is she fighting you about that at all, or is she compliant, or what's up with that?
She was doing very well with that, like I said, until like the last month. Now it's a little more difficult. She will sometimes, she won't, then she starts chewing on the, you know, EFAs and stuff, but she's getting them down. But for the most part, it's a little bit here and there. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I have to tell you, you know, blood pressure, it's easy to fix. Blood sugar issues are easy to fix. Arthritis, fibromyalgia, easy to fix. Insomnia, easy to fix. You know, there's a handful of things that are relatively easy to fix. Neurological problems are really tricky, especially when they show up in the elderly, because it's just decades of damage that has to be attended to. And then when you have somebody who is, you know, is schizophrenic or they have dementia,
it's not the easiest thing in the world to get them to take their supplements and eat the right food all the time. So,
oh, it's a fight.
I mean, it's a fight all the time,
Yeah.
man. You're up against it.
Sure.
What I would recommend for you is taking the Good Herbs hypothalamus support, because this experience is going to be stressing you out. And
Yeah,
in order
a little bit.
to deal with that, I mean, you need a little support. You know, you wouldn't go outside into 10-degree below zero weather to shovel your driveway in your bathing suit, right? You wouldn't do that. You have to guard yourself against the stress of the inclement weather. Well, you need to give your system a little extra support when you're up against high stress stuff. And there's very few things that are better able to do that than the comprehensive Youngevity medical nutrition. And then on top of that, the Good Herbs hypothalamus support. That's a really good recipe. What I would do for you with that, I'd get 2 bottles a month. And I would do 1 teaspoon twice a day. 1 teaspoon twice a day of the hypothalamus support.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Don, I
Okay.
got to move on. I appreciate your support, especially everything that you do for Mike Phillip. I'm very excited. He's going to be filling in for me every Friday. Mike Phillip is really making a
Me too.
gigantic difference in Canada, and I appreciate your help.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Glidden.
All right, we'll talk to you next.